Okay, there's time. Come back over there. Cool.
So I'm going to go through a Saenchai kick. So this one, I'll need Lenny completely for this one. So Lenny, if you just come through, cool. I'd say come a bit closer, about there. So the Saenchai, it's kind of, again, going back to the idea of do or die. When I'm throwing the Saenchai kick, I'm fully committing my person to a space that is going to be dangerful to me. So by that, I mean to complete a Saenchai kick, I have to put my head down where there is a clear and stark danger right in front of me. So I can't just go down quickly, it has to be quick, and I can't just throw my hands down to the floor without first distracting something upstairs. So for this one, just to complete that do or die scenario, I want to do a cartwheel, but I want to make sure it's a rubbish cartwheel. If I do a cartwheel that's fully up, when I come to land my kick, my shin will go straight past his head and it won't land, and he'll probably think, what was that about? So it needs to be a rubbish cartwheel. My legs need to come over. I'll go through the mechanics and we'll talk about the setup. So Lenny, excuse me, can you put your hand out, away from your head? That is now Lenny's head, and I need to kick it. If we go, there's your head. Boom. So I need to get my feet up towards there. So I'm going to put one hand down. I'm going to make sure that I'm always looking, and as I'm looking up, I can just sling my back leg over, and then as my back leg comes over, complete the landing and reset. So I'm here, I put my hand just beyond where his head is, knowing that my leg will be dragged. So I go just in front, and then come round. I want to keep I want to keep an eye contact until I land, making me aware of whether or not if it doesn't land and he's willing to re-engage, then I must make sure that I'm ready for it. So I must make the landing as good as I possibly can. Now, to set it up, I need to make sure that he does not see what I'm doing before I do it. Because me going like this is a really clear indication that he can throw a soccer kick or a knee to my face. So I'm going to pretend with a body jab that I'm just leaning down to throw a strike. But I don't want to just sit there and do like 10 because he's going to get suspicious. So I need to like 1 or 2, go on the third one or go on the second one. Cool, so you ready? So that's the Saenchai kick, and moving on. Front knee. So, again, the front knee, as discussed earlier, a Dutch kickboxing style. So we're not grabbing hold of to throw knees. We can, but in this syllabus, it's more Dutch. So that means hands off. Okay, we're looking to create distance and do damage, stay active within our feet, and not get sucked into too much grappling work. Lenny, can I borrow you pretty please? I'm going to throw a jab, then another jab, and then throw the front knee. My second jab is going to stay out. So as I throw this jab, jab, second jab, and as it comes out I can pendulum step or skip and throw that front knee. I want to teapot my knee so that I'm hitting with my patella, my kneecap. If I throw my knee like this, I'm hitting half with my kneecap, half with the ligaments behind my kneecap, pushing my kneecap off to the side. So I want to make sure I twist my kneecap in, so I'm actually hitting him with my kneecap and not necessarily everything within the knee. Jab, jab, knee. side. Right, and now I'll speed it up. Is that all right? Off the other side. Cool, okay. So that's the front knee. Again, keeping that arm out, want to really try and keep it Dutch style. The knee, just one thing to think of, when we throw that front knee isn't actually a short range weapon anymore. Because we're going Dutch, we're actually at mid-range, we're at punching level. So with a tie knee, we're in close, and we've got short range weapons. With Dutch style, we're a lot further away, and we can really just push that knee from a safer, or relatively safer, distance than from elbows, clinches, chokes, etc. within that really tight distance. Going in for a side knee now, so double jab or jab, and I'm going to lean across the shoulder, and I'm not necessarily going to have a collar tie. Lenny, could I borrow you again please? A collar tie when we grab the neck, and that's either one hand, or sorry, two hands or one hand, and I'm staying within a clinch, and I'm making sure that we have the clinch. For this one, I'm reaching over the shoulder. So at any point, Lenny can always just scoot off that side if he so wishes. But because my knee's going to be going that side, and I'm going to be throwing a side knee into that side, if he steps that side, I can always release my chamber and try and catch him on his exit. So I reach over the shoulder, not really a collar tie, because we're not holding on. I'm just more trying to pull him in to the knee, or pull myself into the knee as I throw it. So I say, how are we going to do it? I say cross, cross, go over, and throw the side knee as we come in. If I'm throwing off the jab, I'm going to throw the cross over the shoulder again, because I'm going to favour this left side. Jab, jab, over the shoulder, throw the knee. Jab, jab, over the shoulder, throw the knee. I'm not going to knee you, but if you react to the cross, then we can see what happens if I don't get that shoulder hurt. Jab, jab, block, and the knee, because I'm still within mid-range, because I'm throwing a Dutch style, my knee is just about the same distance as my punch. So even if Lenny blocks that cross or the jab, and I can't get the shoulder, I'm still going to be able to hit him with something, some sort of bone in towards his body. So if you just block it one more time, Lenny, jab, jab, block, and then throw the knee up, I'm still going to be able to get something. Even if I have to extend the leg, jab, jab, and then I'm still within range. Okay? So we want to adapt it, we don't want to stay stuck fast in what we're doing, but that's sort of the biomechanics of that side knee. So thank you, Lenny. Okay, so on the bag. Cool. So that's the side knee, Dutch style. Again, lots of variations, but that's the variation that we like here because it stays away from that clinch work. Jumping knee. Okay, cool. Lenny, if I can just borrow you briefly, and then I'm going to do all of the jumping knee on the bag, and it'll become very apparent because without one of the kick shields, I don't want to put my training partner within any sort of risk. Going back to that idea of do or die, a jumping knee. Now if I throw a jumping knee, but for the sake of the camera, I'm going to miss Lenny. If I throw my whole body weight toward him, without any sort of pad or protection. Again, I'm going to hurt my training partners. So for the sake of realism, when I do it, it's going to be on the bag, and the bag will be the person. So I'm throwing all of my weight behind it. For the sake of technique, we have a Lenny. So Lenny, if you put your gloves there, and then I'm going to hit his gloves with my knee, but I'm going to really pull back on the power. When I do a jumping knee, my legs have to stay roughly in the same place. I don't want to switch my legs, because that's the next knee that I'm going to be throwing. So technically speaking, my hands are up, and as I go to throw this knee, and I launch myself in, I'm going to jump and drag my knee towards Lenny to throw that knee and pull my knee in towards him using my body, my weight, my inertia from that jump. Nothing more. I'm not pulling him. I'm literally throwing myself towards him, and I'm using my knee as the weapon of choice. So the feet are together, I'm on my heels, and then I just go for the jump, and I throw the knee as I'm jumping. Again, just do or die, jump, and throw the knee. Cool, thank you, Lenny. So on the bag, I'm going to drag my knee, but this time I'm going to get stuck, because I'm really going to throw my weight in. It's going to look ugly at the end, but hopefully at the start it should look technically quite nice. Cool, so that's a jumping knee. Last one before we move on to a different section is the scissor knee. So I talked about moving the feet for the jumping. We're now going to switch feet as we throw the scissor. Lenny, so for technical, again, I'm not going to throw all my weight at Lenny for the same reasons, even though I'm changing my knees. So if this leg is forward, I step up. On my imaginary box, I'm going to switch knees and land the knee that was the leg in front. So this leg is in front, which means this knee is going to be the knee I land for the scissor knee. And then I throw my knee by switching my hips halfway through the air and making sure I kind of teapot that knee. Again, even more so now, because it's do or die. I'm throwing my body weight. I do not want to land my knee like this, because I'm hitting him with the ligaments and half of my kneecap. I want to make sure that it's nice and ugly. If I teapot my knee, I can also kind of slightly get off center as well. So I'm dragging my knee at a weird angle almost. As I go past, I'm not in center line with his counter attack. So from this side, if I'm here, I go to throw, switch, and then I'm still off center. So with the left, and scissor. With the right, cool, thank you Lenny. So making sure that when I'm throwing that scissor knee, the knees cross before I throw the knee. If they don't cross, it's a jumping knee, but both are still do or die. Okay, right knee. Left. Okay, that's the scissor knee, and that concludes the the kicking and knees element. We'll stop the video just briefly and then we'll look at the throwing the leg, throwing a reverse kick off a caught leg part of the syllabus before moving on. Cool, thank you.